Hello everyone, I'm Mariana.
I'm Marie.
And I'm Xavier.
And today we're going to be talking about the Greek god Poseidon, also known by his Roman name Neptune. Poseidon, the god of the sea, earthquakes, storms, and horses. He is considered one of the most bad-tempered, moody, and greedy of the Olympian gods. He was known to be very vengeful when insulted. He is the son of Cronus and Rhea, and was swallowed by his father, along with Hades, Demeter, Hestia, and Hera. However, in some folklore stories, it is believed that Poseidon, like Zeus, was not swallowed by Cronus because his mother Rhea concealed him among a flock of lambs and pretended to have given birth to a colt, which was devoured by Cronus instead. After the gods defeated the Titans, the world was divided into three. Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon drew straws to decide which they would rule. Zeus drew the skies, Hades drew the underworld, and Poseidon drew the seas. Now on to a couple of main stories about Poseidon. The first story is about how he met his wife Amphitrite. There once came a time where Poseidon was feeling extreme loneliness. Full of anger, he was stirring up storms so strong that made the seas and heavens unite. To combat his sad feelings, Poseidon set out to find a wife. On his way, he stumbled upon the mermaid Amphitrite, a sea nymph with gold hair and blue shimmering eyes, dancing on the islands of Naxos. Captured by her beauty, he proposed to her, and then she rejected him. However, Poseidon was so determined, so he sent his messenger Delphinus, the king of dolphins, to locate the mermaid and win her heart. The Dolphin King obeyed and started a long, perilous journey to find the love of his master. When he finally located her, he promised her that if she married Poseidon, all of the energies of Poseidon would balance, and tranquility would come to the world of waters. No strong sea would ever do harm to the seamen again. Touched with emotion, Amphitrite surrendered and she married Poseidon. The couple then gave birth to two daughters, the nymphs Rhode and Benthesicyme, and a son, the merman Triton, with the upper body of a human and the tail of a fish. Now on to the second story. At one point in time, ancient Greece was in a desperate search for a deity. The two Olympian gods who were particularly interested in the patronage were Poseidon, the god of seas, and Athena, the god of wisdom and skill. Poseidon came first. He struck the earth powerfully and created a well with his trident. Immediately, streaming water shot forth, but the water turned out to be salty and not very useful for the population. Next, it was the turn of the goddess Athena. Athena stepped forward, struck her spear into the ground, and then she kneeled and planted an olive branch in it. This way, she created an olive tree, as a symbolism of peace and prosperity on earth. Impressed by Athena's gift, Athena was chosen to lay claim of the city of Athens, and the city was named after her. The god Poseidon, however, was not pleased with the decision, and cursed the city of Athens to never have enough water from then on. After that, it was said that a major problem of water shortage started in Athens, which continued until nowadays.
The Olympian god Poseidon was often depicted as a fierce, bearded figure. His most prominent symbol is a trident, which is a three-pronged sphere used by fishermen to capture fish. It represents his power to control water and was produced by the Cyclops before the war commenced between the Titans and the Olympians. Poseidon is often seen seated on the seashell chariot drawn by mythical creatures called hippocamps, which were the horses of the sea, depicted with the head and foreparts of a horse and the tail of a fish. The symbol of the horse is because he was believed to have created the first horse. As god of the sea, he was also closely related with fish and other marine creatures. Thus, he may be depicted with dolphins, which were sacred to him because of their innate ability to move in and out of the water. Another important symbol is the bull, due to the mythology of the Cretan bull that he sent to King Minos.
Now on to the first art form. This sculpture is titled the Poseidon of Melos. This sculpture is made of Parian marble and was found on the ancient Greek island of Melos. The sculpture is believed to be dated all the way back to the Hellenistic period. It now stands 2.35 meters high in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. When the sculpture was being transported, pieces of his nose, beard, and chin broke off. They even lost the trident, which is a key aspect of Poseidon. Now on to the interpretation. He has a very powerful and godly stance. With his right arm up, it shows off his arm muscles, giving him a very strong and idealized appearance. Also, with his facial features and his beard, it gives him more of an elderly and wise look, shows how much of a god he really is. Also, hopefully you can see this, his left foot is almost completely off the ground, and all of his weight is on his right foot. That's why I stated that he was contrapposto, meaning that he has a more realistic, human-like, and natural stance. Additionally, to his right side, there's a fish-dolphin-like creature, which are both part of what makes Poseidon Poseidon. That fish/dolphin-like thing at the bottom just really helps you be able to tell that that is in fact Poseidon.
Our next artwork is a painting by Peter Paul Rubens titled The Union of Earth and Water, and is currently located at the Hermitage Museum of St. Petersburg, Russia. In order to embody the union of the two elements, the earth is represented by Cybele, the mother of the gods, and the water is represented by the sea god Poseidon. The painting features a pyramidal composition between Poseidon, Cybele, and the goddess Nike. In this oil painting, Poseidon is depicted as an impressive, white-bearded man, squatting on a rock in a rather awkward position with his right hand resting on his trident, the symbol of sea power. Some of the other symbols that distinguish the man as Poseidon include the seashells at the bottom left corner of the image and the overturned urn of water. His left hand holds a beautiful young woman, Cybele, the goddess of the earth, who is carrying the horn of plenty, the symbol of fertility and wealth. The pair is crowned with the laurel crown by the winged goddess Nike, the goddess of triumph and victory, who is descended from Mount Olympus, and the union is heralded through a conch by the Triton below. Thus, drawing on the idea that abundance comes from peace, the union of earth and water symbolizes fertility, wealth, and prosperity.
Presenting the poem By the Water's Edge by Eve Roper. The poem reads, The immortal wind wakens, blows, and whispers to the wind of the trees as they are wickedly uprooted and move in confusion across the countryside in complete chaos. Their roots scornful and unbelieving, uplifted from unrest and upheaval from their unyielding ground. The water spans and stand, bend and rises as Poseidon, the god who watches with wild wonder the sea. Lift up its waves and waver, and waves of forcing force hold it mighty waves against the sand. Then all comes to a calm, and the land sits silent from its fear by the water's edge. The poem describes one of the many magnificent storms created by the god Poseidon. The storm creates chaos and disrupts life in the sea and on land. Even on strong, solid ground, the amazing winds rip the tough roots of trees from the earth. Wild and unpredictable waves are raised high and come crashing back down to the earth with a great force. Roper ends the poem with the storm coming to an end and the distressed countryside being left in fear. In this first snippet, it hints to Poseidon having the power to control elements that affect the land. The god of seas, rivers, and oceans is also the god of earthquakes. In many mediums, Poseidon can be seen creating earthquakes, floods, and tsunamis in fits of anger. His control over the land and sea tend to overlap and cause even more devastating natural disasters. The second snippet demonstrates Poseidon having the power over elements within his watery domain. He watches on as his violent creations create uproar. The third snippet, which is the ending of the poem, displays the respect that earth has for the god. Where the sea meets the land, Poseidon calms the storm and leaves the area in fear.
All three media, Poseidon is depicted as a powerful sea god, using symbols such as the trident and dolphin. Our second similarity is that Poseidon is depicted holding a trident. In both the painting and sculpture, Poseidon is holding the trident with his right hand, and in the poem, the poet uses diction such as he waves a forcing force, which leads one to infer that he is referring to Poseidon's trident.
Differences found between all mediums include the depiction of the god through the perspectives of the artist and the people around him. In the statue, Poseidon is displayed as a strong, wise man with an athletic figure. He is seen as a standalone god that may not strike fear, but should be respected for his power and meaningfulness he brings to the world. In the painting, there is a greater theme of unity and cooperation between the gods. There is a natural background of vegetation and a tiger that depicts a theme of peace. There is also tones of lust, the way that Poseidon is found gazing at a naked woman. In the poem, Poseidon is described as a powerful and feared god that can bring destruction to the land and the sea when he pleases. This is the only artwork that displays his true powers and extent of his wrath.
Thank you so much for watching our video. Bye!
Bye.